Hi everyone, Zaki Amir from DDP Property. Hope you're well, hope you're staying safe and practicing social distancing. The auction rates have plummeted nearly half compared to the previous weekend before. Obviously, it was expected. The government banned auctions. In reality, physically and open homes. Auctions needed to be conducted virtually. Some auctions went through, but most sellers pulled out. But what does that mean to property prices? Not much. What it means is, as a homeowner or someone selling their property, they basically decided, I'm not going to put the property on the market because I'm not sure how many buyers are going to be bidding, because you can't really have people turning up physically. And virtual auctions is fairly new for Australia. And such sellers, maybe like yourself, decided not to sell their property. But what about property prices? Well, the market's basically frozen, because if someone's not willing to sell and there's no buyers turning up, well, not much has happened. Prices virtually stay the same. It's been speculated that we are to expect 20% drops in property prices. Well, we're always speculating about property prices. I mean, that's the nature of the game. That's the way the media runs their headlines. It's all about speculation. And at my view, and it's always been our view at DDP with our clients, that this is a long-term strategy. This is a 10-year plan. And within these 10 years, markets have cycles. Prices go up, prices go down. But if you look at the history of the market over the last 40, 50 years, the average price of a 3-bedroom dwelling in Sydney was $1 million currently, is $1 million. But if you look at it 40 years ago, it was nearly worth about $80,000. So basically, if you owned a property in 1980 for $80,000, it's going to be worth $1 million today. That's just basically $1 million that you made virtually not doing much, but buying a property. And it's had many cycles during that time. The 87 stock market crash, interest rates were historically high, nearly 16%. We had the GFC, the 9/11, and now we've got the coronavirus pandemic. So yes, auction rates have dropped. But what does it mean to prices? Not much. Meaning people are just not selling and people are just not buying. And such, the market is possibly going to remain the way it is. And if we do expect a price drop, well, many speculate that there's going to be a crash. Well, that speculation of having a crash has been going on for years. Every other day, I've got some expert advising that there's a crash coming. But then the way I try to look at things is I step back and look at it at a high level approach. And you go, let's analyze the market 40, 50, 60 years, and property prices have always gone up. So is it good to be buying property at this point in time? 100%. If you're a buyer, I think this is the best time to get a good deal. Like I mentioned, anything below 65%, I would say is a buyer's market. Anything above 65% in the auction rates is a seller's market. Meaning, if there is a motivated seller and a motivated client, just like you, DDP clients, it's the best time to be getting a greater deal. So don't be freaking out that the auction rates have dropped. In my opinion, the market's just frozen because nobody wants to sell and nobody wants to buy. But how does that compare to the share market? Well, that's very different. The share market, the shares can be sold at any point in time. So there's a value being set every second. If someone doesn't want to sell their property, well, not much happens. So it's very important to remember to be careful, to not get too inundated. Since we're at home, inundated by news about the pandemic, we've been through this before. It might be new to Australia for our generation. It might be new actually for the rest of the world in this generation, to be at home not doing much. But it's a great time to get creative. It's a great time to think about what you want, your goals, your opportunities, and make a few phone calls or use us as DDP, as your consultants, to find you some great property deals. Because in the long run, property always makes you money.